Hey, Earth signs. This is your reading for the week of March 16th, 2020. It's a timeless reading, so you can watch it anytime you want to. And if your intuition led you here, then it was meant for you to hear. So this is a video for Taurus, Virgos, and Capricorns. And you could be sun, moon, or rising, either three or none of them. I've also watched videos for other signs before when the title really captures my attention, and and that's been it's been interesting too. So obviously we have a lot going on right now with the coronavirus, and I may be making a separate video on the coronavirus and what I think about it. But for now, Earth signs, there's no denying that the Earth is being impacted by this. As a result, I have my cut and clear candle is lit here tonight to cut and clear any situation, Earth signs, that are not supposed to be with you anymore. And I think that's something that this virus is doing, is it's cutting away just in the nick of time the things that are not meant for us. So as hard as that may be, and I understand that it's very hard, not trying to make light of that at all. So let's see, Earth signs, what do you having going on for the week of March 16th, 2020 in your energy? Teach. Okay, you're supposed to be teaching some things. Ten of Swords. The High Priestess herself, Seven of Pentacles, and Two of Wands. Okay, so I definitely feel like with the teach energy here that we are obviously in High Priestess energy. I mean, here you can see the woman with the book on her lap, and here there's also a woman with book on her lap. So High Priestess as teacher, High Priestess as divine imparter of the knowledge. And in this card, you can actually see behind the veil. Usually you can't see behind the veil. And even in this card, you can see behind the teacher, right? And I think that there is a transparency in whatever you're trying to teach people, or whatever lessons you're trying to receive as well. There's a certain level of transparency, and I do think that the veil has all but, disappeared between this world and the ethers at this point. And because of that, you are being asked to teach more. You're being asked to step into a position of authority. You're asked to channel your own inner wisdom and absolutely not feel that you need to tap that from other people or other sources. Excuse me. Thought I was going to sneeze there. Anyway, so these two books on her lap show that there's a reason why you're in a position of authority. You have studied, you have taught things, but in either picture, neither woman is actually looking from these pages and reading from them. So it's like you have a certain knowledge in you that you have developed over, how is it, the eons of your soul, or just this lifetime, you've developed certain knowledge, and now you've got it, right? You've got it. And you spent the time learning. You spent the time reading and studying the masters, and now you're being asked to teach. So that's beautiful. I love the High Priestess energy that you guys are getting in your cards today. I do think that there is significant patience required with this Seven of Pentacles. And I think this is all how we're feeling in this quarantine right now. is, we want to start the new life. We want to get going. We've built things. We have tried really hard. We've attempted to, have our harvest in our life, but the world is not cooperating right now. And, you know, you might, with the Two of Wands, you might be feeling very restless and very impatient. And I certainly, I'm an earth sign as well. I'm a Taurus, and I definitely feel that with the quarantine. I know we have to do it because, you know, we're doing it for society and to help, and so we don't spread anything. But it's very hard. It's very hard to be patient, especially if you've just come out of a Ten of Swords situation where shit has really hit the fan or shit really ended, and you're feeling like you have gained some really interesting insights from that High Priestess, but you're kind of having to sit on those insights, and you really want to push forward and share your message and share it with the world. And so I totally understand that, earth signs, if you're in that space. And one thing I think that's very interesting about this Ten of Swords is that this Ten of Swords has full armor on, and yet he's stabbed with 10 swords, right? So, you know, if he's got armor on, that is supposed to protect him, right? And I think it's kind of a metaphor for what's happening with the coronavirus, isn't it? Like, you know, we've all armored up, we're all in our homes, we're all safe, and yet, you know, we're reading and watching the news and everything's coming at us, and it feels like it's really wounding us, right? But, you know, and with the Ten of Swords, the wound is more mental. It's more like the fear, the constant replaying of the messages over and over. It's, you know, just hanging on to I feel like with the Ten of Swords, you could still be hanging on to the anxiety from the Nine of Swords, and it's just finally had its last breath, you know? And so I know a lot of us are in that and coming out of that and trying to work through that, and we've got a lot of great things to share. We're having to be very patient and wait for more, and we definitely want to get out there and give our message. And I think, you know, Aries season is going to be a good time for that with the Two of Wands here, which correlates with Aries time. So with that said, let's look at what you would like to teach people or what you're trying to impart. Okay. All right. Well, I did a pre-shuffle earlier, and I drew these 3 cards exactly: the Four of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. And of course I shuffled. So it's really interesting to see the cards here. I think with this situation, you're being asked to stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And you've got the Fool, the Four of Swords, the Page of Cups, and then the Knight of Swords, right? So it's like, yes, it's a new beginning. Yes, you have to rest and relax and soften into the moment. You know, I think with the Knight of Swords, there's a tendency, right, where it's like, and maybe that has to do with the message that you have to share with people, is, because I see all these animals looking onto this person resting. It's like, do you have something to teach? Earth signs are known for generally being more patient and being more, I don't want to say accepting, but more solid and stable, especially in situations that are very trying. And so maybe what you're doing is showing people a new way of how to relax and how to get into peace, get back into self-love, channel the message, and then work on methods for communicating that, right? Maybe you're going to be channeling or communicating new energy, right? With the Knight of Swords, with facing the Page of Cups, I really see that the information that you're supposed to put out there has to do with kindness, empathy, caring for others, filling your own cup, resting when you need to rest, right? That you're being asked, and mental health too as well, when we look at the Four of Swords. So I look at this, earth signs, as sharing a new message about kindness, empathy, but for oneself, right? For oneself. It looks like that might be part of the message that you are trying to share. Take the lead. Okay, so yeah, teach, high priestess, take the lead. You're asking to, you're being asked to rest so you can receive messages. With the fish here, I really see the surprise of seeing something new that you hadn't seen before. A lot of times with divination, we look at water. There's a method, it's like hydromancy, I think it's called, where you look into water, you gaze into a lake or a pond, or you look into a thing of water, and then you're able to divine certain messages from the water, right? So you're supposed to be resting and going into patterns of ease so that you can get the message from that. You can get the message out of that. And it's going to be something like new, inventive, creative, and original. You are supposed to take the lead in whatever this is. And because we have the third eye here, you're definitely channeling some information. Your intuition is on point about the situations that are happening in society. And because of the solar plexus chakra, you're take the lead. That's definitely with the solar plexus. I see this as take the lead with your intuition and what you're seeing in the world right now, and communicating that message and teaching others. So that take the lead with the solar plexus, well, and it's 2 3s anyway, right here, 3 and 3. So solar plexus is the third chakra, and then also take the lead is very much associated with the solar plexus, and you see the ball of fire there, which also represents the solar plexus. For those of you who aren't familiar with the solar plexus, it's the energy center in our upper abdomen, that our tummy area, that basically governs our personal power and our self-will. So you're being asked to take the lead. Okay. Friendliness. Remember what I said about showing others the way and showing others how it's done through your care and compassion and being there for others with the 2 trees connected here and merging in with each other. Yeah, that's just showing politics. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the news right now, and we don't know. With the friendliness and the politics here together, it's a little concerning, because you could have like people that are like pretending to have your best interest, or pretending to are just being like shady motherfuckers. Sorry to use the language, but basically taking advantage of your good nature. So you're here to push that away. You're here to show how that's done. You're here to show people how to, oh, I love this card too. The trust card is just like free fall, total free fall into nothingness, right? And you're being asked, you have a message about these liars, cheaters, fakers, and fronters, and the ones that wear a mask. You have a message to share about that, and you're going to help change. You're going to help change and heal people with that. And the universe is really asking to trust. You're really supposed to trust what's happening right now, even if it feels like you want to go ahead and you just feel very impatient, and you're being asked to trust that you have a unique message to share and that you're going to get that through. And then this Kuthumi, Cloak of Wisdom, Ascended Master, you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. Okay, with the trust card here, okay, it's time, like I said, with the High Priestess and teaching, and you already know what you know. You already have the wisdom. You've read the books. I mean, it's not like you're just, there's a difference between shooting off from the hip and, just going ahead, even though you're untrained and you don't know. You're trained, you know. You're wearing a cloak of wisdom right now. And that's why you have something to teach, Earth Signs, is because you have a cloak of wisdom. And you've been given the cloak of wisdom because of your service to others, okay? And let me see. Let's look at a few questions here. So what would be a couple blocks standing in the way of getting your message out there? Queen of Swords. Okay, so normally you would think that the Queen of Swords, she's upright too, that, you know, you have no problem getting your message out there. It's going to be very clear, rational, logical, but maybe there's not enough. Maybe you just need to spend a little more time figuring out what your message is that you have to share, and spending more time putting it together, doing the work, making it sound, you know, purifying it, making it more digestible, right? Making it more clear, making it more concise, having more of a schedule and a plan with what you're doing with your information. Okay, Five of Swords. So another block here too has to do with the Five of Swords and the Queen of Swords together. Tell me that you've been in defense mode and you've just been kind of defending your borders and your boundaries, and you really haven't given yourself the time to back off from that and get clear and heal. So because with this High Priestess, you are in a phase of healing. The High Priestess, the Four of Swords, the Queen of Swords, you're in a phase, the Trust card, of patiently working on the things that you need to work on diligently, right? With the Queen of Swords, putting in the effort, and taking the lead, but you're being asked to clear some old energy that of discord that's in your energetic space right now. Okay. The question I asked was, what energy, what is that conflict about? And I pulled the Devil card and the Eight of Pentacles. So it appears to me that you've been diligently applying yourself to a situation that has no future and doesn't have your best interest in mind. And I think you've figured that out, Earth signs, and that you were diligently trying and doing the work and applying yourself to a situation that just didn't have a lot of hope in it. And, you know, and it's feels disempowering, right? That's why I think you've got the solar plexus here and take the lead, because when you're in these situations, it can feel very disempowering. And so you are going to clear that energy out of your space, Earth signs, and you are going to come more into the purity of the clarity and the purity of what you need to be teaching and discussing with others. Okay. You need to help. Part of your message is going to be helping people get free, get free from negative patterns, get free from situations and lines of thinking that are no longer serving them. And that's going to be one of your big contributions that you're working on right now, Earth signs. And I will say that you should take this time right now to work through that yourself. And since we're all in quarantine, work through it yourself, solve the problem for yourself, help others. That's how it works, right? Page of Wands, how do you solve the problem? I think you have to hold it up close to the light and contemplate it, really look at it, and then decide what proactive actions can you take each day to light the fire, to start your healing journey. Yeah. Knight of Pentacles. So I asked, what practical steps can you actually do to spark this journey and move it forward? So it's a slow moving journey. That's what I said earlier, remember. And it takes a lot of patience, and that's why we have the Page and the Eight of Swords here, because it's not an immediate thing. But the Knight of Pentacles here, I love the fact that she is writing in her book next to a tree with like a tree branch as a pen. And I think some of like what you can do right now, Earth signs, is even though we're not supposed to be in 6 feet of other people, and we're not supposed to, really go out that much. The weather is getting a little bit better, and my intuition's telling me that if you can, walk to a park, walk to a nature area where there are not other people around, take your journal with you, spend some time journaling under a tree. I know for me, whenever I go sit under a tree, it just calms me down and makes me feel so happy, and really just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just makes me feel really calm and balanced. So we can still go out in nature. Like, we can still go take our dog for a walk and go out in nature, hopefully, right? If you don't have family members that have been impacted by this quite yet, and you have the ability to do that. But you can sit under a tree, you can journal, and you can start thinking about some of the energies that have been around you in the last several years, and what that energy has meant for you, as far as what have you had to contend with. And then deciding, just if you need to, for example, Earth signs, if some of you have left a friendship or a relationship, make a list of deal breakers in your journal. Look at the last 5 to 10 years relationships that you've had. Make a list of deal breakers for yourself. Make a list of new ideas that come to you. Make a list of, if you're trying to heal something in your life, what plan would you make up for yourself? Because I feel like that's the plan that you're gonna also use to help others. And then also, Earth signs, make sure that you drink a lot of water right now, because I'm feeling massively dehydrated in your reading. So make sure that you're drinking a lot of water too, and keeping your throat coated. Especially for my Taurus people, your throats are like ground zero for any kind of health issue. And as soon as that throat starts hurting, all of us Tauruses know it's game over. So make sure you're keeping your throat coated, and you're drinking a ton of water and taking really good care of your own immunity right now. And I do think nature will help you with that, my Earth signs. After all, you are from the Earth. So with that, I hope that message was empowering for you and was helpful for you as you go about your weeks here coming up ahead. Thank you all for being with me here today. I'm Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you.